Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. I don't know how to even begin healing. Getting started. My wife of just over 4 years ended things 1 week ago. She had an affair, which she said only happened once she reached her wits' end and had already grieved our marriage. She regrets having the affair and admits she should have just expressed her feelings to me, but due to the mental state I was in, she figured I wouldn't listen to her. I have battled depression my entire life. Over the last 2.5 years, things got really dark for me. I hid in vices like shopping and masturbation, sought my own identity everywhere, even thought I was gender fluid at one point. Now I don't believe this, and was largely absent as a husband. My wife admits I had my bright moments, but they were so inconsistent that it just kept weighing heavy on her until she couldn't take it. I have finally taken the steps I need to deal with my depression. I am in therapy, on new medication. I tried meds in the past and it went very poorly, and using a variety of techniques to manage it internally on a daily basis. It's still new, but I can already feel myself doing better, definitely in a way I've never felt before. I know I've got a long road, but I'm not quitting. I started all of this just days after I learned of the affair. I've been trying to motivate myself to do it for a while, but I guess the motivation I needed was driving away someone that I love so dearly. We're now a week since she admitted she wanted the divorce and I am in shambles. I've tried to bury myself in other things, but every lull in my day I think of her and of us. I don't want the divorce, but she is not budging and it is painful as it is. I love her too much. I know true love lets go when it must. And she has admitted she doesn't want us to disappear from each other's lives. She just feels she's been doing this on her own for so long that she'd rather just do it on her own. Reddit, how do I heal from this pain? I've gone through tough breakups before, but the weight of this one is so much heavier. Other than the affair, my soon-to-be ex-wife was the most beautiful partner in every way. Supportive, romantic, inquisitive, I could go on. How do you willingly let go of someone you feel that strongly about? How do you believe that another love like it is out there for you? How do I make the tears stop? First, it's perfectly natural to feel this way. It's very hard. Second, it's not at all your fault. She had several ways she would have dealt with this, none of them should have involved cheating. If she reached her wits' end, she could have divorced, sought therapy, talked to you. Cheating is never a solution, it's selfish and shitty, period. Finally, other than the affair she was blah, 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 what? No, she wasn't. You're grieving, you're traumatized, you're feeling low, and lonely. All of this is a natural response to what you're going through, but please stop lying to yourself. Supportive, romantic people do not cheat. Cheating is not romantic. Cheating is not supportive. Blaming cheating on you is not supportive or romantic. Good people can do bad things, but when they do, they take responsibility and don't blame other people for their shitty behavior. They acknowledge what they did was wrong and don't make excuses or pass blame, period. I'm sorry you're going through this. It sucks. The best way to get through this is to cut contact, all contact. You will start to see her for who she really is. Continue therapy. Be honest with yourself. I'm sure you aren't perfect and made mistakes, but no one deserves abuse and cheating is abuse. Don't try to make the tears stop. Cry until you don't feel like crying anymore. You shouldn't be crying all day every day, but it's okay to cry, let it out, and move on. For me, the first 2 weeks were tough. I cried a lot, but not all day. I would cry often, but 5 to 10 minutes and move past it. Release when you need to and it should help. Your medication will take about a month to start working. Keep monitoring your progress and feelings with your drive. I'm sure they told you what to look out for. Good luck, it gets better. There are a lot of other sides to the blame part that I didn't really go into. She is truly just a good person who did a bad thing, and she doesn't blame me for her actions. She just expressed that how she was feeling left her vulnerable to someone who was already making passes at her, knowing full well she was married. I don't blame myself that she cheated. I blame myself for the shortcomings I had. I don't know. My heart is just on fire. I don't excuse what she did, but I can forgive it. I try not to live with animosity in my life after how my relationship with my father ended. And beyond that, she was one of my closest friends before our marriage, and even through it. Friends hurt each other sometimes. I don't know. I just wish I could turn off the memories, turn off all of it. That's what's ripping me apart the most. It's like our first kiss is stuck in the ducking VCR in my brain and just keeps replaying even though I'm pressing the ducking off button. She may very well be a good person who did a bad thing, but bad people don't make excuses and claim it's anyone else's fault but their own. Claiming she was vulnerable really isn't taking responsibility. It's acting like a victim instead of what she is, someone who made a really bad decision. So, he knew she was married, didn't she as well? Isn't she the one who made the commitment? Did he force her? It doesn't sound like it. Anyone who says this stuff isn't taking responsibility and she is blaming you, she's just being really manipulative about it. Listen to how you're feeling guilty about it. Listen to you blame yourself. If she punched you in the face, would you be saying the same thing? Would you think you deserved that? This is no different. Do not let her fool you into thinking it is. What you're doing is very common, making excuses for someone who cheated on you. We've all done it, I did it for a long time. I'm not judging, it's what good people who want to believe others are good do, but you can forgive and still realize that person doesn't deserve to be in your life. You may be to blame for some other things that were wrong or were unhealthy about the relationship. There is nothing wrong with acknowledging that. In fact, that will be incredibly helpful for you moving forward in every way, but never excuse abuse, ever. Cheating is abuse. If you were so bad that they could justify abusing you, you were bad enough to leave. Never own someone else's abusive behavior. Go to chumplady.com. May I DM you? Sure. I don't deal with the pain. I deal with myself. I put myself in a helpful way. I'm eating right, no more weed or drinking, exercising a lot, reading and learning, therapy. I haven't found a way to deal with the pain. It's there. It sucks. And I'm doing it anyway. I visit this subreddit often. Sometimes, I'm just taking one step at a time, literally moment to moment. I'm getting better and stronger as time goes on. Sometimes I feel like this is all a bad dream and I could wake up at any moment. It's awful. Stay hydrated, grateful and healthy. You got this. The bad dream feelings are the worst. I've literally hoped that my car accident 2 years ago actually put me in a coma and soon I'll snap awake. I'm trying very hard to deal with myself. I know nothing excuses cheating, and I won't excuse. But I can accept inside that I wasn't a perfect husband either. I could have done a lot better. I'm trying to just do better for myself, but every little thing puts her face or her smile or her laugh back in my head. That won't last forever. Here I am responding 4 days later and I bet it's a tiny bit better. At the moment you are naturally very emotional and so you are seeing things with rose-colored glasses. Definitely get into IC to process this trauma. It will be hard and some days you will go backwards, but you need to keep moving forward. Maybe by moving forward and being mature and strong you can show her in the future you can cope with what life throws at you. You never know what she will think in several years. But for now move forward and grow into a mature functional person. Yes, I am too trying to let go of someone that I need to, but having difficulty. I was in a similar situation. It was ironic that once I finally got myself to a good place mentally for the first time in my life, he could no longer deal with our marriage. In my case, because I already had the tools, my life became exponentially better after he left. The grief you are feeling is completely normal, so very painful, but normal. Give yourself grace while you go through the grieving process and celebrate every step you take towards healing. Above all, just continue with therapy and use the healthy tools you have to support you through this. It will get better faster than you think. I'm very sorry you are going through this. How to meet the type of people I'm interested in. The apps and sites are all the same. And mostly the same types of people. Nothing against them, but looking for people that are actually my type is like needle in a haystack with that stuff. What do people do to make new connections in 2022 that's not as shallow as these swipe left or right services? I'm going through a divorce, and definitely not trying to jump right back to long-term commitment. But I'm virtually alone in a new city. I'd love to meet people, casually date, make friends and see where it goes. Make connections while taking the proper time to heal from my divorce. In the spirit of full disclosure, my wife had an affair prior to asking me for a divorce. While she says she's not pursuing a relationship with the other party, I am fully aware they are still attempting to hang out and sleep together casually, and I guess that's also partially in my head and making me feel I need to remind myself that people can enjoy being with me too. It's a lot of emotions. Any thoughts on Reddit? What kind of people are you looking for, and why are they so difficult to find? I guess I just have an interesting set of standards. I could tell you any given person to say Tinder is attractive, but just being physically attractive isn't all of it. I'm attracted to certain aesthetics, people who vibe with the things that I vibe with and just like to be relaxed and fun. I'm an elder emo, 1000% if that's helpful. It feels like the entire market is centered around people that almost are chasing that Instagram or influencer lifestyle, and that's just not me. I feel like it's always been hard for me to find a woman that is just attracted to me physically enough to actually have a deep conversation and get to know me. Obviously my soon-to-be ex is proof they exist, it just seems so hard to find them. I don't know if it's a problem with me or a problem with where I'm looking, or if I have standards too high. I feel like I shouldn't have to compromise on what I want, and neither should someone else. It's just hard. What went wrong with your relationship with your ex? Also, I do think you have a high standard. Not everyone is going to meet your checklist, or like you said, it will be hard to find. But what I want to know is, can you date people that don't meet your standards and be interested in them? Yes, I can. I know that if I'm going to ever marry again, I want to be sure the person is what I want and I'm what they want. When my wife and I started dating, we met those criteria. But just to casually date and make connections, I can accept not everyone I meet will be a perfect match. I can even accept that most of them won't. I posted about my marriage in r/divorce, but the short of it is, I was depressed for 2.5 years and didn't get help. She tried to help, but I sank lower. I wasn't there for her in any of the ways I vowed to be, or when I was, it was inconsistent. She got sad, weak, and vulnerable and had an affair and asked for divorce. Why is it so tough to stop thinking about her? Mental health/depression/loneliness NSFW. It's like all my brain can do is cycle between remembering a happy time and then cry because it's gone, over and over and over. I try not to interact with her, but it tortures me. Watching TV, sitting on the patio, trips to the store. Our lives are still so intertwined. I think she falls for this new guy more and more every day and falls farther away from me. Love ducking hurts. At night I shatter when we go to separate places to sleep. When I wake and see her in the bed while I'm getting ready, it crushes me not to kiss her goodbye. I'm breaking and breaking over and over. For every day that's been okay is a day like today where I'm just destroyed. Our brain sucks, it really does. I feel for you, friend. I wish there was a way for emotions to be easily switched in order to only see the good side of things. Hang on, it's been 2.5 months for me, and I find it easier when I go no contact, after the initial no contact shock, of course. I'm moving to the no contact phase. It actually helps. I'm going on a 4-day business trip and looking forward to leaving my life behind for a few days before we need to start the real work of splitting everything up. I'm with you. I am experiencing the exact same thing. We are in a lame duck marriage. I'm in the same house but she's seeing another man. I'm in the basement and she is in the bedroom, but I have all my clothes in the bedroom closet. I see her up there in bed when I get ready for work. I want nothing more than to crawl into bed with her, but it's a pipe dream. 25 years together gone in a flash. I'm in a similar situation. Living together in separate rooms but getting a divorce. We are actually getting along right now and I'm not sure it makes all this easier or harder. She still has contact with the AP but has only actually seen him twice because he lives in another state 6 hours away. The whole situation is just weird. I feel ya, dude. Hang in there. Same boat here. Hers has a kid that's 7, so she can't go to his place, and I've asked for him to not be in the apartment that has my name on the lease, which she has agreed to with annoyance. We could get along, because despite the affair I'm not angry with her for that. I'm angry that she had an affair and then asked for divorce, setting herself up with romantic support while I am doomed to spiral. But trying to be friends is impossible because I just want to be her ducking husband. I can't separate the two right now, and honestly I'm not sure I ever will. I tried the strategy of making a list of her cons, and I managed to put 2 things on it and that's it. In 5 years I could come up with 2 ways she could improve as a partner. Not have an affair, and call my family once in a while. That's all I had. She's cut me so deep and yet I'm the one left feeling like I failed. I've got this ducking weight on me and it's just getting heavier. I feel for you. At least mine has her AP in another state and he is on probation and can't leave the state until 2024, so I don't have to worry about him coming around. I agree that just being friends is too hard. She actually still says I'm her best friend and wants me in her life, but that can't happen. No way I'm going to have any kind of relationship with her unless it's as her husband. I will be nice to her because of our kids, but I just can't see myself hanging out with her as friends. This all sucks. We are the ones hurting while they have their fun and hurt the family. My wife also talks about the stay in your life stuff, and says she'll always love me. Then stay here and love me. I'm getting the help I need. I'm on medication that actually seems to be helping now. What do you want? I'm trying to distance myself a little more now, but our space is small so it's tough. So I'm just keeping pleasantries to a minimum and trying to not initiate conversation unless it's in regards to something professional. Tonight she wants me to play Switch with her and I'm like, who TF you gonna ask when I have to move out? Your new man is busy with his kid, and your family is all back east. I want to remain in her life too, despite it all, but it's going to be touchy for a while. That said, always keep hope alive. Don't dwell in it, but remember that the universe guides us as it should. Sometimes that causes things to be crazy in your life for a minute, but there's always a reason for it. Get out. I've got young kids and was sleeping in one of my kids' bunk beds on the floor. I was shocked when I asked if I could get a bed in that room and she suggested I move out instead. I was hurt, and impulsively moved out immediately. At the time I regretted it. I couldn't be around her, I couldn't see her sleeping, dressing her, undressing and just doing all the normal stuff we always did. She asked for time and space and I needed it too. For me, it's been helpful to separate myself from her. This is not a 100% decision for either of us. I want to work on things, maybe 70%, and 30% of me wants to move and divorce. That number seemed like 99% stayed together and worked on it, and now I realize that was desperation. It was also some cloudy thinking, and I know now the number is closer to 50%, and as I accept my reality, it's more than 50% move on and divorce. I mean, practically speaking, that's what's happening. Whether I want it or not, I've got to accept it. If this is your reality, start building your reality, choose what you can, instead of having it chosen for you. Easy for me to say just move out, of course. I've got a friend with a little studio that's not too far away. I'm very grateful for it. When things get real, and I'm renting a place that my kids come and visit every couple of days and stay with me for a few days, I'll probably be back on the subreddit crying. I couldn't be around her. If you're together, and you move out, split the cost of you moving out. This is your reality and you need to do what's right for you. If that's the distance, get the distance. If she wants a divorce, this is part of it. It can be amicable, it's still going to be expensive. You're not paying lawyers to fight, you're paying 2 rents. That's the practical nature of what's happening sometimes. I'm seriously considering taking your advice. No kids, and just started the divorce process a couple weeks ago, so still living together. She keeps starting shit but then goes nuclear when I react or try to look out for myself. Hate to make a run for it and I'm not sure what that means for splitting our home that we own together, but I'm starting to question if it's worth whatever that means legally in order to protect my sanity and get off the emotional roller coaster. Why is she still in the house? It's an issue of lease agreement. I'll be moving out in the next 2 months. I don't want this apartment. It happened here. So after you move out, the best way and fastest is to ghost the hell out of her. I know you still love her, but she's not the person you met and married. She gave up on you, on the marriage. Seems like marriage doesn't mean commitment anymore. It gets a bumpy look somewhere else. Grass isn't greener on the other side, J6ST new. But new will become old. Hard days. Mental health/depression/loneliness. Work days have been the hardest because I know she's there with her AP. I know they talk constantly. I'm doing my best to focus on me, but I won't pretend my heart isn't still crying out for her to come home. I'm still crying out to the cosmos that one of these mornings I'll wake up and it will be January, and there will still be time to save my marriage. But I woke up today and it's still June. And I'm still broken. Not a lot you can do. When you're trying to go about your day and your wife is cheating, it's tough to focus, but you have to. Mine would spend the evening with hers while I was working, and once it was closer to the time I'd get off work, I'd start getting the "what time are you getting off, sweetheart?" messages so she could get home before me. Now that we're separated, I'm finally to the point where I'm indifferent about her. It's taken a year or so, but she's his problem now, and, as a serial cheater, she'll do it to him, as well. Actually, she already has. I don't believe my wife to be a serial cheater, as this is the first time she's ever done something like this to anyone. In the past she's always been the one to get hurt. I think she just made a garbage decision instead of just stepping up and telling me she wanted out of the marriage, and now she's left me stuck here grieving her while she's already moved on. She's still a beautiful soul to me, I know her heart. I'm not blinded or jaded, I just know the woman I married, and she hasn't been acting like that woman since all of this started. I hope she's okay. She's breaking my heart, but that doesn't mean I want to see her hurt. I love her. True love just wants happiness. Whatever the definition. Sadly, those feelings don't make my process of trying to let go any easier. I'm still just here, hoping, wishing, and trusting the cosmos. Trying to work on myself and my goals. 1 minute at a time. Work on you, like you said. If it's going to be meant for her to come back, great, but do what you have to do to move on. I think it's going to be really difficult to work on yourself and move on when you're still romanticizing the person who lied to you, intimately betrayed you, and cheated on you. They could have asked for a divorce. They didn't. They instead made a calculated series of decisions knowing that it would destroy you, and they were okay with that. They lack empathy for what they've done to you, and they have demonstrated they do not care about you or how they hurt you. I would start rewriting this story in your head or you'll never let go. Best of luck. So relatable. Been hoping for some miracle or to wake up from this nightmare, and it hasn't happened. It isn't happening. And I don't know how to accept that. I still spend a lot of time bargaining and sometimes even denial. It's the worst. Was just thinking the same thing. Walking Springs, my friend's empty house, wondering if this is real. Could this possibly be? I know it's true. I know it's over. The smaller part of me that is in disbelief is shrinking. The stronger part of me that can and does accept this is growing bigger, even stronger. I wonder less frequently and for less time. Time is healing me. I've finally stopped bargaining. Now I'm in the mode of trying to keep my distance as much as is feasible. I'm not being rude to her or ignoring her if she attempts to engage, but I am keeping it short and light. She doesn't get to have husband-level depth of interest if she doesn't want me to be her husband. She can get that from her AP. Why not ignore her? Do you have kids? No, but since we share a car and a living space, it's impossible not to talk some. I've been trying to let her initiate most conversations. Oh wow, any plans for either you or her to move? Lease is up in September. That's when I'll be packing up. She offered to move out, but I just don't think I could stay in our place. I'll always think of it as our place because we worked really hard to get it. And we shared a lot there. I understand. I have a place that was ours and it is nothing but the wreckage of what she left behind. Being there is like a recurring nightmare of memories, but the rent is low, so trying to figure out what to do about it. She works at your job? No, she works elsewhere, but we are still stuck living together and sharing a car, so we have to carpool. You're still living together? Dude, that's the problem. You got to get out there ASAP. You're living together while she's seeing another man? F that noise. Sadly, not much of an option for now. There is a rule in place that he is not allowed in the apartment, even if I'm not there. I told her that since she asked for the divorce knowing it would take a while for us to sort out the living situation, that it was only fair for her to be accommodating. So far to my knowledge, she's upheld it. It's on her conscience if she breaks it and gets away with it. Wow, rough. You're still living together? Dude, that's the problem. You got to get out there ASAP. You're living together while she's seeing another man? F that noise. How are you ever going to move on while you're still living together? I feel exactly like you do. I don't know how to start over. It's crushing to breath. I did so much and he never cared. I'm in my mid-50s but take great care of myself. He has stripped everything from me. I hardly make it through the day. I wish I had answers. You are not alone. Agree, you're not alone even when you absolutely feel like you are. Thank you. Honestly, I am left to figure out how to get an inexpensive divorce, because he is so awful and won't chip in for the divorce. I am terrified of him and just a mess. Sorry you're going through this. I'm in a similar situation, but we're living separately, which helps tremendously. Otherwise I'm at a loss for what can help move on. I'm doing counseling, reconnecting with old friends, trying to do self-care, even got myself a weighted blanket and new pillows, but those don't seem to be helping. The one thing that is giving me hope is a bucket list of all the things I want to do when I'm ready. I'm not ready for them yet, but it's giving me hope that I'm armed with a list of activities and travel plans for the future. I'm really struggling. Coping. The affair that she had was so easy and seamless. I feel as though my entire worth is just gone in terms of my desirability, attractiveness, and just overall appeal, while she's just pouring on her sexiness. Couldn't come up with a better word. How do I shake this? This beautiful woman once chose me, she chose me for 4 years of marriage. I can't be the things that I'm feeling, but I don't know how to convince myself that I'm not. It probably doesn't help that I'm still in love with her, in spite of her having the affair and then asking me for divorce. Before the dark times came, we were the best of friends and a great team. Now, I only see traces of her beneath this new exterior she's put up. I'm falling while she seems to be ascending. Update. Wow. Thank you to everyone who has commented or reached out. It's horrible that those of us in here seem to all share a big heart and this happens to us. Even if all the insights here don't apply to my situation directly, I still appreciate the thoughts from another human being trying to lighten the weight. Love you, Redditors. I've been there. It takes time. Join a gym, buy some new clothes, take care of yourself, and you'll realize soon enough that it's her loss. You're better than this, too good for trash like her. You will get over her. Yeah, exercise helps a lot mentally. Take long walks, or even better, get a dog and take them for long walks. Ride a bike, go hiking, and learn to water ski or rock climb. Treat yourself to a vacation. Go to dinner with family and friends. Get out and do stuff. Listen, we've all been there. Feeling like even though we gave our best we weren't good enough while the person who hurt us is thriving. Now is the time to really reflect and see what changes you want to make for yourself. Not to make her jealous, not to find another partner, but really make ourselves feel good. Once you've made changes for you and are happy within yourself, you won't even be looking at her anymore. Every dog has its day, and one day you'll be thriving and she'll be looking at you feeling how you do now. Make sure everyone knows she had an affair. She was too much of a coward to leave you first. Name the guy if you know who he is. Tell her parents and siblings and yours, and name him. This way, it becomes very hard for her to have a serious relationship inside their family. If it was a colleague or boss, expose it to the company. File for divorce first. She admitted everything to her parents on her own. And I'm also not the vindictive type. We're trying to reach an amicable end, which I still don't want, but it's definitely challenging. She has a pretty ducked up past that I believe really affects her decision making and communication skills, so despite being hurt and angry, I still have a soft spot. My story is similar, but a long time ago in a universe far away. For my ex-wife, it was always easier for her to monkey branch and move on to an exciting new man than to put in the effort to work on a relationship. She needs to deal with her inner demons before she can ever be in a long-term stable relationship. Unfortunately, you just got caught in her blast radius. She is doing you a favor by leaving. Living a life as a third wheel whenever she feels like some strange titillating sex is no way for you to grow older. You do you. Did she tell you she told her parents? Were you there? She may not have told the truth. Cheaters rarely do. It's not being vindictive, that sounds like her speaking. Truth thrives in the light. Talk/message her parents and friends, if work alerts HR. Don't lie for a cheater ever. I've spoken to her mom. She knows. As far as her work, I don't think they'd care at all. That company is a bit of a mess right now. Nor do I want the drama of her feeling like I'm going after her. I've always tried to kill people with kindness, even when they've wronged me. I can't make people change, but sometimes all someone needs to realize they can be better is for someone else to be accepting no matter what. My reading last night told me that I should be forgetting and not waiting, so that is what I'm focusing on. But I'll admit, if she ever came to me to apologize and try to reconcile, I wouldn't be able to turn her away. Even the best people make ducked up choices sometimes. We can't grow if we don't fail. She failed me in a pretty big ducking way. I failed her in some ways too. Two wrongs don't make a right, but certainly I can still empathize with a person who I've spent time getting to know and grow with to a certain point. You deserve better. The heart is a fickle thing, and you're still going to hurt for a while, but in the greater scheme of things you are better off without her. Get that divorce and keep it amicable, but you have to realize it's not your fault. If there was something that you did, she had the option to discuss it and work on it with you. She chose to mess around. You don't need someone like that in your life. Stay strong and push on. I promise you it will get better. Friend, I was there. 9 years. It was as if I couldn't take a breath. It was near Christmas. I came home one evening to find her, with him, canoodling in my living room. I was gutted. You put one foot in front of the other. I've now been married for years, and have a great family. It gets better. Also married 4 years, mine got pregnant I think on or around our 4th anniversary, which she forgot about. Found out she was pregnant a month later. 4 months of her trying to make things right and prove that she really loved me, and the 5 months of treating me that I didn't exist was just some fog she was in. Huge bonus, I lost nearly 80 pounds. I went for a walk every time she upset me, then it turned into a jog. Now I run about 10 miles a day, in the best shape of my life. It gets better. Just keep away from the booze and work on yourself. At least yours left. Mine is wanting me to play proud daddy and act like we are a happy family, keeps trying to initiate intimacy. She is 5 months along now and that is never happening, and went to first divorce hearing and have to do 6 weeks of marriage counseling before the judge will go to the next phase of our divorce. We'll be moving out of our leased home in September. She is due in late October, so praying I will be a memory by the time that happens. Pregnancy definitely makes that tough. I wish mine was dying to get me to stay though. According to Miso, he would rather die. He complains all the time when I ask where he is and who he's with. He's a cheater and serial pathological liar. But I have a child on the way and popping any time now. I'm starting to come out of that myself. I can suggest a couple things that helped me. Go to the barber and get a fresh haircut and a hot lather shave. It'll make you feel like $1 million. Set up social gatherings with friends. Get out of the house. Join a couple dating apps. Even if you're not ready to date. Just simply matching with women was somewhat of a confidence booster for me. Reminded me that some people do find me attractive. Welcome to the shit club. She messed up, not you. And if she doesn't get that, then don't feel down. Understand that you loved what you thought she was, not who really is. Prioritize yourself. Keep your mind strong, improve yourself, and move on. And truth be told, you should have gotten a prenup. Divorce rates are high, 40% last time I checked, so folks may say their vows at one point, but have no qualms in breaking them later on. She'll know you're still hung up on her, and that makes you look weak. Remember, she messed up, not you. If she loved you, she wouldn't have cheated in the first place, or at least would have shown some actions for reconciliation. Do the 180, and prioritize yourself. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Don't belittle yourself. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.